Okay, so today is probably our last session on developing empathy. So for today, I'm suggesting that we represent each other's empathy and to get to know it, just have a conversation with it. And if there's time after, we could continue on with the exercises we did last week, where we were having representation for the self and the empathy, having a conversation. We could, let's see how it goes with time-wise. So who wants to offer their empathy to be represented first? I'm offering for all of us to, all 6 of us. It's a small group, it's an opportunity. But who wants to start first? Michael, and then Virginia. So who would like to represent Michael's empathy? Virginia, thank you. Okay, so Virginia, just set your intention to accurately represent Michael's empathy the best possible. Welcome, Michael's empathy. How are you feeling?
Calm.
Calm, okay. What's your environment look like?
I'm not really seeing in much right now, actually. I'm seeing some colors move around me.
Okay.
There's like some energy movement, but I don't see anything specific.
Okay. And how do you feel about Michael? I feel like he's really trying. He's really making an effort to change. And getting to know himself, his authentic self. Okay. And how are you wanting to help him? What do you want to do for him?
I feel like I want to hold space and keep him in empathy, feeling his own empathy, engaging it is what I would like to do for him.
So you would like Michael to engage empathy towards himself?
Yes.
How would he be treating himself in that space? If let's say he's observing that he has addictions, he's observing that he's sinning, how would he be treating himself in that space?
With the same tenderness, the same kindness and consideration that he would with a newborn, whether it be an animal or a human child, to always treat himself that way, regardless of what is coming up for him, regardless of what he finds in himself.
Okay. Wow. And how can he invoke that empathy? What can help him tap into that? Is there a prayer?
Prayer is best. He can pray for a desire to engage empathy more, to have a stronger desire for empathy in his
Okay.
life for himself.
Okay.
Also, playing, however he considers playing, doing things that are fun, creative,
Okay.
just for the joy of the experience of doing it. Doesn't have to
Okay.
have any outcome.
Wow. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much for speaking with us. What was that like, feeling that, Virginia?
It feels really nice. Like, it feels really nice, but I was in a formless space. Like,
Formal?
very formless. It was a
Formless,
formless
okay.
space. Like, I didn't feel like I was in any earthly place. It was a formless place that was energetic. That's the only way I can explain it.
Okay, we'll have to see how it shows up for everybody.
Yeah. And it just like empathy just wants to hold him and just to like, it's almost like nurturing and just, yeah, and engaging. And it's just, it wants to be involved in your everyday.
And it's that Michael needs to choose to engage empathy towards himself. So
Yeah.
that's an
I was surprised with the play thing, because you were mentioning playing things before we started, and whatever it is that you feel is play and for you, then that's, yeah. So somehow that helps you to engage those parts of yourself. Play is, I guess, important for a lot of things.
yeah. Wow.
It really brings out our authentic self. I believe that's how I felt. Like, it brings out your authentic self, and your authentic self has empathy. It just naturally does have empathy.
Well, I've been kind of questioning if empathy is innate. Maybe there's a spark, or is it something we have to develop and choose? I've been curious about it.
I don't know. I just felt like that. I don't know. That was just the words that came out. So I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
guessing at how it's beneficial and how it can benefit in engaging empathy in your life. I'm not sure. That was a guess. That was not something that came
No worries,
when
no
I
worries.
was channeling that or representing that.
And Michael, what was that like?
I liked it. This morning I was trying to feel my hurt self, and I got under the avoidance. I spent a lot of energy avoiding feelings, but there was underneath it shame, embarrassment, guilt, and stuff. And I think empathy, what I feel, empathy knows I'm a child and just needs to be loved and doesn't criticize me for having those faults. I feel like empathy is coming from God to it's a flavor of love that says, you know, I know you are the way you are. That's okay. Don't don't make it worse. I love you. You'll get through it. Just feel it. It'll work. And empathy calls more to my heart than just love yourself, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I
Something
like the
very
image
active.
of the newborn baby, like, because I think of a baby as a sixth sphere. They're not, but somebody who's perfect. They're perfect. They're perfection and innocence at the same time. And if I can treat myself that way, and you know, give myself permission to play, also reminds me of being a child. um I like, and holding the space fit well, I thought, for me, because I'm just now going to start to practice this, and so I need room to do it. I've got a clear space in order to practice having empathy for myself. So I like holding the space, Virginia.
Beautiful. We'll have to see what's in common and what's different, you know, in all the different empathies. I'm curious to find out. Okay, so Virginia, you had also raised your hand. So who would like to represent Virginia's empathy? Jill, thank you. Okay, set your intention. Okay, welcome Virginia's empathy. How are you doing?
I'm having a hard time connecting. I'm feeling a lot of sort of spirit pushback.
Okay.
Mm.
Just start with some kind of a gentle, soft.
Yeah, I'm feeling very calm and excited at the same time. Um, like we're like happy to be recognized.
Okay. And what do you feel like? What are your qualities?
Very soft and gentle. If you could imagine hugging a rainbow.
Okay. Okay. And what is it that you would like to do for Virginia when she's feeling mad at herself, feeling stuck, afraid?
I'd like her to know that that it's okay. That all she has to remember is that empathy is always with her. And to treat herself the same way she would treat nature.
Which is how? Can you give an example?
Yeah. How she talks to the trees and how she talks to nature. If she's upset or angry, you know, she can bring it to nature and nature will absorb it and take it away. And then just how she would treat like a new tree just coming out of the ground with that gentleness and talking to it like encouragement, like you've got this, you're gonna grow big and strong, and have that kind of encouragement, that kind of talk to herself.
And how do you feel about Virginia's, that she's got addictions, she's got stuff she hasn't healed? How do you feel about Virginia and that?
Oh, we still love Virginia. I still love empathy, still loves Virginia. Her addictions are just kind of like little sort of bugs flying in the air. I mean, they're around, yeah, but that's okay. It doesn't change who you really are.
Okay.
And as empathy, we can see past all of those addictions, and it's okay. We know that we have to help you release those addictions.
And how can Virginia remember to invoke empathy towards herself?
Yeah. Pray to the trees, pray to nature, and remember that it's all connected. And yeah, and that prayer will be answered by the forest or by nature.
Thank you. Thank you for speaking to us. What that feel like, Jill?
Um, kind of like a slippery fish. It was really nice, but to try and hang on to it, I'm like,
Yeah,
where is it? It was very, very calm and very, very gentle. I think that the
okay.
gentleness was what I was having a hard time
Yeah,
connecting to,
got it.
but very calm, very gentle. And it like same kind of thing as like Virginia said, no real defined space, but very much a part of who Virginia is. Like very much like weaved in us. I don't know how to explain
Yeah,
it, but very
yeah,
much us.
yeah. Okay. And what was that like for you, Virginia?
Thank you, Jill, for that. Bit emotional for me because I connected with it because I do talk to trees. I go to the forest and I talk sometimes out loud when there's nobody there. When it's raining and talk to plants, I talk to my plants. I've never actually said words of encouragement to myself. When you Jill said that, like, I'm like, oh, I never say those things to myself. So thank you for that. It's yeah, it's interesting. I do feel more empathy in nature. It's very easy to feel it. It just is. In addiction, not so much. Then it's challenging to remember to feel, to look towards empathy and bring that in for myself. That's a challenge. Thank you very much for that.
And it'll be interesting to try out the issues we're trying to work with. If we go into empathy and then work with it, do we get a different outcome? Do we get an outcome? Like, do we get to work to get rid of, change? Like maybe we're more brave in facing things because all that's going to happen is empathy will unfold it. Like, because it makes me more brave. Okay, so who would like to have their empathy be represented? Jess. And who would like to represent her empathy? Michael. Right, welcome, Justice Empathy. How are you feeling right now?
How I'm feeling. Oh, you know how my hair is just here and I have this turtleneck, so all you can see is my hair and my face.
Yeah,
I feel like a parachute that's caught the wind and is just puffing and filling and billowing with wind and life. Um, just light and full.
and very energetic too, like it's very vibrant. Okay. And what is it you're like? How would you like to help Jess with working through her challenges?
One is I'm gentle. I'm very gentle, Jess, for you. It's your quality of turning a soft touch on yourself. Um, and accepting it. Um, even though you could be hard on yourself for failing or missing it or something. Empathy doesn't feel that way.
How does empathy feel?
Part of it is that those I want to say, I like the parachute image. It's I want to run my fingers through your hair. It's okay. Be light, be happy. Um, you'll get it. You'll get there. Don't make it harder for yourself. We are children. And like you would love a child, love yourself.
Okay. Love yourself like a child.
And there's joy in that. I feel that it's right, and that you will feel confirmation in you that it's the right thing.
And what helps Jess to engage you, to have you come on, get involved?
We're beginners, we're novices. There's a reason why we don't see the full road ahead of us, but just a little ways. That's all that we're responsible for, is right, what's right here, right now. And it's a slow journey, or it can be a slow journey, and that's okay. I've got your back. I won't let you slip. And when you know that you deserve my empathy, you'll know that you don't deserve the attacks and the criticisms of other people and spirits.
How can she
They,
get there? How can she feel that she deserves your empathy? Her empathy.
if Jess can feel that she deserves her own empathy, she'll know how precious she is, and that nothing else should be there. I think sometime do you remember when they asked Jesus, or I think this is what I remember. They asked AJ what was the gift that God gave him that set him apart. And I think it was, he didn't accept people's projections of him. He didn't accept their images and their energies about him that would pull him down, but he knew who he was, and he had a connection, and he didn't ever let go of that. And so many things that would have stuck to him just didn't even touch him. And I think feeling your own empathy for yourself will give you that freedom and buoyancy.
Okay.
And confidence.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. Oof. Okay. Different qualities there.
Thank you, Michael.
You're welcome.
I was just asking God some questions about the power addiction, and the answer I got from my guide was that my trouble is that I'm still believing the projections coming at me from spirits and people. I'm believing their projections, and that brings me down, and it makes it harder to get rid of the addiction. And empathy has been the antidote lately. helped me come back up to even try to fight it. So I like that, the message that you got there, Michael, about, not believing the projections. Oh, what did it feel like for you, Michael?
I felt like I had freedom to be expressive, and part of it was what I thought and felt, and part of it was what I would say to Jess. And I let myself feel like I had the right to do that. And I wanted to go with my impressions and my feelings. And whatever did stick would be good. I enjoyed it.
Okay. Jess?
This is very specific to what I'm working through right now. Like so specific, like so psychic. Like I was like, did you talk to Mila? Like, since I talked to Mila yesterday, and I was like, were you guys talking about me before I got on the call? Like, I'm like, I know that isn't the case, but I was just like, really, so specific. And I felt like I needed to go next because I felt like I'm stuck in what I'm in, and I was like, I can't represent until I get out of, like, I'm just stuck in the tantrum. So thank you. I needed to cry, and I was just taking notes the whole time, but dead on. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you. Different qualities. They are different qualities, but the word gentle shows up for everyone so far. Hi, Michaela. So yeah, for today, Michaela, we're representing each other's empathy just to get to know it a little bit, get comfortable with its qualities. So who wants to be represented next? Michaela? Okay. Who would like to represent Michaela's empathy? Grace? Thank you. Welcome, Michaela's empathy. How are you feeling right now?
Very light, airy, warm. Lots of space. There's lots of space.
And how do you want to treat Michaela when she's going through difficulties?
There's an acknowledgement of Michaela's feistiness and determination. There's a real spark in her. And I just want to celebrate that.
Okay. And how do you wish she would treat herself? Especially when she's working on stuff like addictions, difficult stuff.
I get the image of like bubble wrap. I just want to wrap her in bubble wrap. She's really too hard on herself. And I just want to like pad her.
Okay. And how can she invoke empathy in her day-to-day life?
It already is, but she's not seeing it.
Okay. And what kind of action is she taking in engaging? Is she engaging prayers, kindness to herself?
When she's in her despair and she's calling out for help, she doesn't see the power in that.
So, is there anything else you'd like to add in how you can support her?
Space. There needs to be space. It's too busy. It's too cluttered. She's allowed to have space. She's allowed to have room.
Thank you. Thank you for speaking with us. What'd that feel like, guys?
That was weird. It was like timeless and like expansive and like no rush whatsoever. Like, wow. It was just like endless patience. Like, you got this, we got you. Like, yeah, that was really nice.
Oh, okay. Michaela, how is that for you?
Thank you, Grace. Yeah, it was good. I feel like I'm in this kind of weird place at the moment where I'm starting to realize that I'm actually just going through a process. It's not, my life isn't ending and it's terrible and I should just die. I'm actually in. And so I've started to become a little bit more aware of these things that I'm doing that are right. So it was really nice to just hear that when I call out for help, and just this morning I was calling out for help, and it's almost like I call out for help and then the next word is, I really hope it's real. And I just always am hoping that the process I'm in is real. And so to hear that it is a real relief, because I'm sick of this shit and I want it to be moving. Yeah, and the space thing, oh, my life's just about to get even more busy, so I don't know.
I love how empathy creates that timelessness, the patience, the space it creates it. Even if you just engage it as you're driving somewhere, maybe you'll just create this place of, right here, right now is all I need, and I can take all the time I need, or be interesting to try.
Yeah, and just as I said that as well, like I fill up my time with a lot of addiction, so I do have room. I just don't want to change. So yeah, that's a good, and I like that empathy leads to that space. So if I just keep maybe focusing on the empathy, that might help.
Exactly. We're going to have to experiment.
Yeah.
Experiment with what happens with empathy, what equalities are, what happens to us when we're in different spaces. Yeah, that'd be a good one.
Thank you.
So I feel like it's a good time to take a little break, and then we'll continue on after that. Okay, so we've got Jill, Grace, and myself, I think, left to represent our empathy. And I'm happy to represent as well. Just practice. Grace will get nominated to hold a space. And okay, so who wants to go next to get represented? Maybe I'll go. Who wants to represent my empathy? Michaela? And Grace. Do you wanna? I can do it, but just wanted to ask you if you feel comfortable asking. Okay, thank you, Grace. Okay.
I have 4 kids here at the moment, so if it gets a bit noisy, I apologize.
No
4
worries.
boys.
Welcome, Mila's empathy. Can you tell us what your environment looks like?
It's really expansive. There are no walls. It's outside. It's nature. Like it could be the ocean, it could be the forest. But it can't. It's not staying in any of those ones. But it's very natural.
Can you tell us how you feel?
I feel like when you take in a big breath and then there's just this beautiful effortless flow of the oxygen coming out of your mouth. It's like this openness and expansive flow outwards. It's very peaceful.
And can you tell us how you feel about Mila?
It's like all that flow that comes out of me is for her. It's to soothe her. It's to flow around her, to caress her, to know her, to soothe her. It's like my breathing is my expression towards Mila.
How? Oh, keep going.
No, but I feel like the wind. It's like I nestle in and I'm really wanting of like just soothing and caressing Mila.
Do you feel like she knows you're there?
Yes and no. I had an image of a startled little girl that kind of just slammed the door shut, and then she peeked around and she's like, I kind of know what's on the other side of the door, but I'm really used to slamming the door shut, and I'm really not sure. Like there's definitely a curiosity though, and like a desire for it to be opened into, but there's also a definite shy terror, probably resistance to it.
Are there any sort of words of encouragement you can give her for that resistance?
I feel like it's related to the breathing and the movement of energy through her and out of her, like the singing and the breathing and just the expression and connecting into the breath and the expansive nature of the breath and the outflowing of the breath. And I feel like that there's something in that for her that will help her to connect to empathy and to herself.
Any sort of last pieces that you would like Mila to know about you?
We see you and we see that curiosity and that passion and that forward motion, and we just encourage you to breathe and to be present and to be expressive of what is there that caused you to slam the door. But in any moment, if you just breathe and feel the air moving out of your body and being expressive, that will help you to soften to us.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michaela. As soon as you started to speak, I started to feel relief and light. It's like there was space for me. That was lovely. How was it for you, Michaela?
I was really doubting myself. I wasn't really feeling trusting of the process. So I'm sorry if
It was accurate. It's accurate.
Okay,
Because
cool.
what I've been encouraged to do is to use the out breath in singing, in modulating and singing and moving the sound around. I'm actually being encouraged very specifically on that out breath and sound. So I was shocked at how specific that was. It's like, that is where it's coming from. So I'm trusting it more. I'm trusting that more now because of what you just said. And wind is not something I speak a lot of, but wind is the feeling. Whenever I feel wind, I'm like, there's my relief, there's my savior. Wind is always the sensation I go for.
Yeah, I was
If I
seeing that.
see, yeah, if I see wind in the trees, I will stop what I'm doing and just get lost in that moment. Yeah, so it's crazy. It's very accurate and expressive. Be here, expressive, expressive, expressive. Beautiful. Thank you. Okay, so we have Jill and Grace. Who wants to go first? Grace. And who wants to represent Grace's empathy? Jess? Jess, do you feel okay about it? I mean, Jill has offered to, but it's a good one to try. It feels really good. So
No, I feel good about it. I cried.
thank you, Michael.
Those damn tears are contagious.
Don't hang around with me then.
You break everybody's heart, right?
No, I'm always crying.
All right. Welcome, Grace's empathy. How are you feeling?
I feel so much in my heart.
Okay.
like like my heart, like not like in a painful or excessive, like in a gentle way, but my heart wants to burst. Like that's the only word that I have for it. It's
Okay.
like that this feeling is trickling out into my arms and through my body, but it started in the heart, and it's warm and it's pleasure. It's so lovely.
Okay.
Ooh.
And,
Uh-huh.
and what is it that you would like to do for Grace when she's feeling down with herself?
At the just at the very beginning of connecting to this feeling, I saw Smudge, and how Grace treats Smudge with so much empathy, so much care, and like asking what he needs and listening and patience. And if she could treat herself with that much care.
Ah, when you start speaking about the heart that wants to burst, I'm like, oh, I know what that is. That's what she's like with Smudge. So that's the nature of her empathy. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. And how can she remember you more, engage you more?
I'm seeing flowers, and particularly like the word femininity is coming to me, and to explore what that feels like for Grace, that
Okay.
can be expressed in so many different ways. And there's so many different kinds of flowers, and that bloom in different seasons and different conditions. And for Grace to explore what flowers blossom in her.
Okay. And how do you feel about Grace?
Like, there's no words. I feel giddy. I feel like so warm and full of joy, like that this feeling of just pleasure and contentment and love, like just no words to describe this wonderful, incredible feeling that I have towards Grace.
Is there anything else you'd like to add?
um just the word remember, like try to just to remember, maybe put something on your fridge or a post-it on your door or on the wall or on the mirror, just something to remember, to come back to me.
Okay, thank you. That's good. How'd that feel like, Jess?
Wow. Real good. I needed that.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow. It felt like, I don't know, like being full of flowers. I don't know, like really, like no, there's no words. It just like like
Wow. Okay. And what was that like for you, Grace?
Um, it makes me really mad. It makes me really sad. Because I feel like in order to feel empathy, And then I have to feel how much there wasn't. And I don't want to do that right now.
That's why Michaela saw that little me slamming the door shut, because that's what gets triggered. So it's so foreign. Yeah. This is why we have to kind of do these kind of exercises to evoke it, induce it, desire for it, to value it, because it's so foreign to us. But my feeling is that without empathy, we kind of get stuck somewhere along the way in some of the processes, especially if it's a lot of internalized judgment too, if the facades are really harsh. Yeah, kind of need it. I mean, imagine if children were raised with empathy, like how would they ever become aggressive? Like it's just, oof. Okay, thank you. Okay, Jill. I would like to represent her empathy because I like to have some practice. Who feel comfortable asking interviewing? Jess, do you want to interview? Ask questions? Let Grace have a moment there. Okay, so
Welcome, Jill's empathy.
yeah,
Can you tell us about your environment?
well, I am seeing that retreat center in Invermere. There's lots of space, lots of horses. There's just lots of space for everything. Whatever I want to do, whatever anybody wants to do, there's a lot of space and resources and material for everything. That's what it feels like.
And how do you feel about Jill?
If Jill could see that every single step and process she's working on blooms into a flower, if only she could see how each of those difficult struggles each bear fruits. I wish she could see it, because she would be very, very proud of herself.
Do you have any suggestions of how Jill could exercise seeing it?
If she could feel that there's no wasted effort in God's world, there's no wasted tears, there's no wasted desire, there's no wasted effort. If she could see that perspective, then she will see why she has been bearing lots of beautiful fruits and flowers everywhere.
Are you able to please describe some of your unique qualities so that Jill can better recognize you?
When Jill uses her logic to say, to look at what's good in the world, or to look at what's good with her children, and then she say, well, then that can also apply to me, and that is also possible for me. Those are ways in which she is tapping into empathy as a force of strength that door is also open for her. All of those dreams are also there for her. She has the same word, the same parent as everybody else. That because in that place, empathy becomes a force, a strength for her that really help her step up and antidotes beating up herself. And Jill's empathy is, there's always a playfulness, just a little bit of wickedness, a little bit of mischievousness in all of Jill's empathy for herself. So embrace that more, embrace those qualities more, and that will create the lightness and the playfulness that allows her to then open to God and Guide's attempt to lift her out of the darkness.
Thank you. Is there anything else that you would like to tell Jill?
It's a wide open space. There's room for everyone, for everything. There's room for joy and dances and celebrations. There's room for quiet walks. There's all the time in the world. Stay in that space. And just forget that there's anybody else there.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you, Mila. Thanks, Jess.
What was that like for you, Jill?
Encouraging. I have been really, I didn't realize I was doing it, but I guess I've been empowering that logic, I guess is the best way to put it, over the last few days, or last more than a few days, that I've been listening to 3 songs kind of on repeat for the last 3 days. One is the Sarah Kroger Beloved, and then the Rescue by Laura
Lauren. Yeah.
Dagler, Rescue, and I Am Loved. I think it's called I Am Loved. I can't remember. Yeah. Those 3 songs I've been listening on repeat, and something kind of clicked for me yesterday, kind of last night, yesterday, that in that Beloved song, she goes, you're like, you believe, you've accepted that you're these horrible things, like you're unwanted, you're unloved, you believe it, you've accepted. What if you actually believe that you're loved, that you're wanted? And so I've been using that logic, like, okay, well, anytime that I go into the punishment, I'm like, but what if I'm not that? I'm this. What if I'm loved? What if I'm wanted? Like, and engaging that. And it's all intellectual. It's all that, but that's okay because I've just started this. But it also helps to get me into the grief of not punishment grief, actual grief of what I have become. So as far as that logic part, the rest of it is beautiful. I'm not quite there to believe it, but it's encouraging. It's nice to know that I'm not doing all of this crazy hard work for nothing. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Very different qualities. so some distinctive different qualities in everyone's empathy, for sure. Michael.
There was a word you used to describe Jill's empathy. It wasn't naughty, but it was different.
Mischievous.
Yes,
Wickedness.
that was
A
interesting.
hint of wickedness. That little glint. Yeah. That's a 7. God's playful. Yeah. Wow. So, well, so what are your ideas going forward? What are some of your ideas about exploring empathy? Like, I feel like we need to still be convinced more that empathy is a powerful force that can actually be the game changer. That's what I'm exploring, but maybe we need to build more faith in it. Or maybe we need to feel like what Grace was feeling, that there was something wrong that we never had any growing up. Something big was missing in our lives. Because when we do feel our guides, what throws us off is the empathy they give us. They always throws us off. We reject them because it's like, whoa, but what is this feeling? This intense compassion coming at us. So what are you guys' plans, Michael?
So if I don't feel empathy for myself, I will not feel my guide's empathy.
I think so. I think we will reject them because we're not used to it, and we're used to harshness. So I'm more open to dark spirits, judgment, and harshness because that's what I'm used to. I think that's normal. So as I slowly start to become more open to empathy, now I'm becoming more sensitive to like what's not empathy. That's something wrong with that treatment, and I'm more drawn to my guides and other spirit guides. Virginia?
I have been praying for help to turn to empathy more.
Oh, nice.
I've noticed that I still catch myself in judgment and criticizing myself, and you know, a lot of those harsh emotions, and I'll recognize, oh, I'm in it again. You know, help me to feel my empathy, to turn to empathy here. And it actually works when you ask for that help. And it makes a difference because it takes me out of it. Sometimes I have to sing, regardless of where I am, to sing myself out of it. But whatever it is, but I'm really starting to like it. I'm starting to want it.
Okay.
So it's starting to change for me. I'm not quite there yet. I still found myself today, oh, you're back in that again, you know, and to not, instead of berating myself, and it's like, okay, just help me to turn to empathy here. How do I bring this in and feeling it? And so it starts just a little bit. So I'm hoping that this will grow.
Absolutely.
And so interesting. I have this one plant that's been the same size for like literally 2.5 years. It's still green. It's not dying. And it's, now that I'm starting to engage empathy, it has new shoots. It's starting to grow. You haven't grown for 2.5 years. Are you my empathy?
Like, wow. Is that what empathy does?
I don't know.
Encourage.
I really feel, I honestly feel like this is the way out for me, because I feel like that punishment and judgment and all that, those are addictions for me. They are, and I'm really feeling how much I want them, but I need the empathy or I'll just be lost in it.
Yeah.
It's the only way that's working for me, to turn away from it and to not engage. not continue that engagement.
I just
So
know.
there's hope. I'm feeling hopeful about it.
Good.
Thank you
Good.
for having this, because I feel like in just in the last month, I've felt some change. Like literally the last,
yeah, it's just an idea that's been growing since the hospital retreat. I mean, that's what triggered the retreat to begin with. This idea that we have to treat ourselves like patients, like someone that's ill and needs care. I think we need to do that, just so we'll then allow the real healers to actually heal us.
our guides,
Our guides.
God, our guides.
Yeah, exactly. So, but I'm just experimenting with this concept, and thank you for coming along and trying it out, and then let's experiment and see where we go from here. And I feel like we're complete. I think we just needed those 4. We needed to get familiar with the concept, but I feel like now is something we need to do on our own. And then maybe we'll check in, maybe we'll do another one in 6 months and do a report. How's it been since then? But and that would be a nice video to add to the collection for sure. But I feel like this feels complete. So thank you for taking it on and for experimenting. Yeah.
I just kind of want to second what Virginia said, that this last bringing this aspect into things has really added, I think, what I needed to be able to be more gentle with myself and not to battle the punishment, the antidote to the punishment. It's like the punishment's here and I'm always here, and I'm like Virginia said, I'm addicted to it. It's giving me whatever it's giving me. It's keeping me here, but empathy is the antidote for it. It keeps, every time I engage the empathy, the punishment just kind of goes away. Like it just like it has no basis, it has no ground to stand on. And I have noticed some change in how I can get into the deeper emotions, right? With
you
that
can't even
empathy.
access them. Exactly. Yeah. No, I mean that's my carrot. How do I access these other emotions? That's the only reason. I'm always investigating all these techniques. So it's a good point.
Yeah.
And everyone has their some kind of individualness to each other's empathy, right? Imagine if Grace treated us like a smudge. My God, how wonderful would that be like to receive that? Imagine if Jess treated us with this excitement like a balloon taking off, like, whoo, that'll pick me out of a bad day. Like, how incredible is that? So yeah, it is beautiful. Okay, we'll just have to see. We'll have to do a catch up in 6 months and add to the collection how we all change from it. Thank you.